Daggerfall Unity, GOG edition. GOG Cut, I guess it's called. Welcome aboard. So, while I was wasting away my life on Twitter today, I noticed that GOG had put out this modded version of Daggerfall Unity. So, in other words, you download the game and it comes with a bunch of pre-installed mods right out of the box. And here we are. So I'm actually re-recording this because I had previously just downloaded it, installed it, fired it up, and started playing and recording a video here to just take a quick look at it, only to realize that I actually needed to do a little bit of setup. So I needed to get into the, see, I've got enabled controller here. So right now I'm on my Xbox controller, but it doesn't have any controls bound. So I actually ended up kind of reloading and setting up my controls and stuff like that. And I did go through a couple of these advanced features here because I wanted to turn on a couple of the features that I was unfamiliar with, like vitals indicators. It's just a cool little thing that gives you that sort of Dark Souls style health bar effect when you get hit and stuff like that. And I also turned on this talk window modern style. I don't know what it is. We'll find out. Um, you can see we have enhancements here and stuff like that. These are all various things. Some of these come with the base model of the Unity port, and others do not. They come with the various mods that are pre-installed by GOG. The mod pack, I believe, is by Gamer Zach or his community. So it's basically a compilation of mods that have been pre-installed, and that basically means you get all the advantages of playing a modded version of the game, but you don't have to do all the fuckery that comes with that, which is really, really cool of them to do this. Just for if you want to take a quick look, this is what they have added to the game for you. And again, you don't have to do anything with this. Just my recommendation, don't fuck with it unless you know what you're doing. And then let's get right in and play this thing. And now I'm actually going to let it play through the intro videos and stuff like that because they've all been remastered. Right off the bat, I just want to say the mod team that ported this into Unity did a fantastic job. Daggerfall is a game that, it's a very famous RPG, obviously, but one that I never played. And by the time I started to get into Elder Scrolls, it was Morrowind, and then, I went on to Oblivion and Skyrim, and I did try to go back and play it, but it was just really clunky and really old. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to bother. I'm going to watch some other asshole on YouTube go through it just so I kind of know what's going on with it, but don't have to deal with it myself. But this here, you'll see when we get into the game, this feels really, really good. So without further ado, let's play Daggerfall Unity GOG Cut. See what I'm saying? That looks pretty damn good. All right, now two basic options here. I do have a save game which I could load. Um, So I'm going to make a snap decision to not do the efficient thing, and we are instead going to recreate the character just so we can kind of get a look at those menus and stuff. Again, I'm not going to be able to tell you what's different between the old game and this one because I don't actually know, but let's just have a look at what we got. So start new game. Now this one here, I'm going to rush through this shit, right? Nothing really matters here. This is just to check it out. But I do have, because when I say nothing matters, I'm actually going to role play this because what the fuck, this is what I do. High Rock, that's where we're going because we're getting Warhammer Fantasy on this shit, and we're going to be a knight. We are heading back to Daggerfall. We're heading back to this area, land of barons and all that type of stuff. So we're a knight. We're friends with the Emperor. He's sending us back. You're going to see that. I don't know why it picked Redguard, presumably because I flailed around with the cursor in the wrong place. There we go, Breton. All right, we're going to be male and we're going to choose our class. So there's kind of two ways here. This is something that's kind of fun. This was much more of a thing back in the days when this game first came out, where you would just like answer some question, like a questionnaire, and then it would just say like, "Hey, it looks like you're a rogue" or something like that. We're not going to do that, and we're also not going to do a custom class. Because it's going to take a little bit too long and there's a lot of options. It's a really cool process, but we're not going to take time for it. So we're just going to grab this. We're going to go down. We're going to be a knight um, because that sort of matches this idea. Trained as warriors, hail from noble stock. Bingo, right there. They adhere to the code of chivalry, which I believe is kill peasants if they get in the way and take their shit. The most important skills for a knight: long blade, etiquette, blunt weapon, axe, archery, short. Who cares? But we do wish to be a knight. All right, and then basically here it's giving us a couple options again. So we can either fast start by automatically generating your character's background. You'll be able to adjust starting attributes and skills within the character sheet. Or what we're going to do is this. So we're going to, once again, we're going to do a questionnaire and it's just going to throw some questions at us. Let's get in there. All right. You're most fond of using what? Well, I can tell you right now, I'm going to metagame this a little bit because I happen to know that we can get our hands on a silver mace right from the beginning. So we're most fond of clubbing things. And one of the reasons why that's important is in this game, different creature types are sometimes immune to different material weapons, right? So you have an iron sword. We're going to meet an enemy early on in the game, which I do not believe an iron or steel weapon can actually injure. So here we go. We're banking on the idea that I can get my hands on something that's more useful. What motivates me into a life of adventure? I'm a knight. Fame. Which of the following skills have you been studying the longest? All right, so this one here, this is basically asking us, we could just like pick a class or custom class our favorite skills. Instead, it's just going to kind of ask us what we want to do and then kind of throw that in. Now, looking at this, yes, we can climb things in this. They have taken a lot out of Elder Scrolls games, by the way. Like we get a fucking skeleton of a game in Skyrim and games like that, right? Um, Lock picking is a smart choice because it's going to let us get into shit. Stealth is a dumb choice because we're going to be wearing massive armor. Same with backstabbing, pickpocketing. We don't do that shit. We just, kill the peasant and take what they have. We don't need to pickpocket them. Critical striking is a weird one. You'd think yes, right? But I did hear that in this version of the game, or maybe in a previous version of Unity, this actually didn't work. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. We're going to take dodging. This just makes us harder to hit, I think. So we're going to take it. As a child, your nickname was who knows, but I think maybe this makes us faster. If I had to guess, Quicksilver. You were loaned and later allowed to keep, right? So this is a spot where we can just nab 200 gold. Like we basically just, nab that. A piece of armor, a katana, eh, a cuirass, because basically we're looking for a specific weapon out of these questions. So we're going to take some armor. That's going to come in handy. What god do you worship, if any? I shouldn't even worry about it, but what I will do is I've had a little thing on lately in the Pathfinder tabletop stuff I've been playing, where I've had a couple characters that have a religious bent. I'm doing a bit of an Inquisitor thing right now in the campaign that I'm in, and I've been going for Abadar in that. I resonate with that god, right? The god that argues every time somebody offers him a price for something. So basically, I'm going to go with Zenithar, god of commerce. Let's get out there and make some money. You have the most trouble. So now this is giving us a weakness. The game has a trait system, right? Where we have certain strengths and weaknesses. So we can exchange weaknesses for a better XP curve or for points that we can use to. It's complicated. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this, but this is kind of automating that. So obviously, we don't want to have trouble fighting and parrying. We want to be able to do that shit. Staying awake and alert, I'm concerned that that might just make me narcoleptic. Probably not, but no good there. Resisting magic. This is a terrible one. Don't do that because that's going to make you vulnerable to some just kill shots, basically. Getting along with others. This isn't going to be a good one either because part of the knight's little shtick is that you got a lot of etiquette, right? You're able to sort of schmooze with the other nobles. Resisting poison. Don't really want that. That leaves us with this. Obviously, we don't necessarily want the syphilis, but if it comes down to it, we'll accept the syphilis. Okay, and then since childhood, you've saved this. I don't really know if any of these have particular strength, but we can always potentially hope that this amulet is maybe magical. That would be nice. Now, this one is a weird one. This is pretty unfamiliar if you're coming from the later games because really they absolutely cut down on the amount of interaction and stuff like that, right? It gets pretty simple. So you can basically just choose to be friendly with a class of what are otherwise just monsters, which is kind of cool, right? Like imagine if in Skyrim you just had a rapport with Spriggans so that they weren't hostile to you, stuff like that. Now, this one, I don't know if any of these really make any specific sense, but I do know how we can kind of cheat something that's really shitty in the initial part of the game, and that is by being friendly with imps because you'll see why. All right. We were given 200 gold pieces as a reward, so we decide to there it is. Buy a silver mace, and that's going to let us hit some enemies that otherwise we couldn't affect. And we spend any free time we have training with I want to say blunt weapons, but we did pick that as our primary already, didn't we? So it feels to me like this is maybe giving us the opportunity to pick our sort of our major skill instead of our primary skill. So what we might want to do is give ourselves an option for a secondary weapon that might come in handy. Now, I'm pretty tempted to pick archery because we're going to want to have a standoff capability at some times as well. So let's do that. All right. And we're intimate friends with. This one is going to, I believe, kind of decide some of our faction relations, right? So if we say a rogue or an assassin, this might make us more popular or more integrated with underworld figures. This would probably make us more integrated with priests and clergy. So we're gonna actually, but we're Breton, right? So that is the land of mages. So we're actually gonna pick a mage. We're intimate with a mage. Um, so yeah, so you can see there you go. Like scholars are more likely to treat me favorably because I'm a little bit more integrated with that, and apparently also the underworld. I'll take it. All right, it's time to name thyself. And I believe what I'm going to go with is just what I went with before, which is Edward, because we're a Ponzi ass knight. And fortunately, I did also discover that they have the perfect head for Edward. And there it was. And there it is. It's Edward. Noble knight, ma'am, at your service. All right, so there we go. Now we're rolling up our character, and basically what this is like we can re-roll. It'll change these stats, and it'll change our number of bonus points. We got okay stats to start with because we've got a +2 here, but we got gutter trash for the number of bonus points we have to spend. So we're actually going to go ahead and re-roll a couple of times. See if we can get a high strength and high endurance and a bunch of bonus points to fuss around with. I wonder if I just don't understand exactly how it works. No, I think we could get both, right? Like we could get both a high strength score and a high number of points. I'm not entirely sure. I'll just fuck around a time. Haha, there it is. There we go. All right, so now we can go, like how far do you have to go? Wow, you gotta go all the way up to 80 to get a +3 damage bonus. We don't need that, but we will potentially just bump that to 70, and then we're gonna want as well, I believe, quite a bit of endurance because we want to get a hit point bonus going on here. So 60 because that gives us +1. And the other thing that I entertain some memories of is that potentially speed is going to govern not only our movement speed, not sure about that, but also our attack, like our swing recovery speed. Not sure about that either, but it's a good guess, so let's go with it. And we'll call that good. All right, so we've got a couple skill points to toss around. As you can see, we've said that our favorite thing to fuck with was blunt weapons. So we are going to just double down on that right now because we know we're going to have one in our inventory when we start. So let's just throw it in there. We also know that we're probably going to have a ranged weapon that we're going to want to keep. So again, double down. There's no point spreading this around as far as I'm concerned. And then down here, I don't 100% know what the medical skill does, and it doesn't have a tooltip. So I'm gonna kind of assume that this maybe modifies the amount of healing that we get from sources like potions and whatnot, which again could be useful, but resting is a pretty key mechanic for recovering health in this anyway. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump some points maybe into that, and then for shits and giggles and to celebrate the fact that it's in the game, 2 points into climb. And this is a nice feature too. This is basically like, how much do you suck at gaming? Like, do you need us to basically go slow-mo on you so that, so that you're not going to struggle too hard with it? Actually, I remember it's a game that I haven't played, but I have watched a Let's Play of. There's a game called Anvil of Dawn that actually does something very similar to this. And so it has a combat system that dynamically scales with how slow you are. So if you're constantly clicking as fast as you can to attack opponents, it'll go at full speed. But if you just sit there and, slackjaw stare at your screen while an enemy comes up to you, it'll actually only attack you every several seconds, right? Like it's just like it's waiting for you. Like it kind of gives you a slap and then it's like, we doing this? There's some really interesting attempts. Like this is when they were figuring out like how do we do difficulty scaling and stuff like that, right? Some pretty cool stuff there. All right, so it's time for this Ponzi little asshole to start the game.
400 years after Septim's reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close in the Empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the Empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim the Seventh cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion. One indomitable power hides itself, but not forever.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him. But his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul. I ask this as your emperor and your friend. I have one lesser request. Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall. It never arrived. The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature. If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful. Now, my champion, rest well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
All right, there it is. Now, key difference between the games that I'm familiar with, having started with Morrowind, we're not starting this as a prisoner, but we are in some shitty cave somewhere. You wake and look around the room. Some hours ago, you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall when a storm of supernatural strength boiled over the Iliac Bay like a malefic creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a promontory rock. There you found a cave and escaped the fury of the storm. You'd only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you within. Your fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there's a way out of this cave after all. Once free of the cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. And there we go. All right, so game has a tutorial. We're not going to fuss with that. And do we want to receive an early artifact quest as part of the DFU quest pack? Well, we are here to find out what these quest packs do. So yes, we do. All right, so those of you who have seen Let's Plays or videos or retrospectives of Daggerfall are going to realize right away that we've got some serious modernization on our hands here. Now, I've gone in and I've set up the controller, so I actually have, menus and stuff like that that I can fuss with. So we're just going to equip and get exploring. Now, we can basically, we're in equip mode here, so we can just throw our stuff on. You can see here we have this silver mace. That is a good thing. Because as you can see, it does slightly more damage, it does slightly more damage than the iron mace with that sort of +1, but it's also going to allow me to hit some creatures that will be immune to this weapon here. We do have this steel warhammer, which is a two-handed weapon. It's going to hit harder. I am intending to find a shield though. So we're actually just going to roll around with this. I think that's going to be useful. And so we will equip here. I don't know if we have to equip arrows. I think we just use them from our inventory, but I don't really know for sure. But yeah, so we're going to set up here. I actually didn't remember to set up the switch hands. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. We'll just use our hammer. All right, and so we are officially good to go. I have my status here bound to another button there. I'm healthy. I've got my overall character sheet here. And you can see this one I have to close with the exit. It's not a perfect controller implementation, but I've got to say it's pretty good. Okay, so I can bring my weapon up here, can swing. I can do, I have a couple different attack forms. You can see I kind of poke people in the face with my mace every once in a while, which might seem odd, but don't judge me. All right, and like, look at how smooth this is. We're just chilling here at 144 frames a second. Oh, beautiful. This is how to treat a good retro game. I hear squeaks. Time to kill some wildlife. Very nice. Did they? No, I don't think they did set up F5 quick save. All right, so we are going to save game. We'll just save over my previous like nonsense one where the controls didn't work and stuff like that, and then we'll get going. All right, so we've got a loot pile here. So we've got some gold that we're going to grab. We've got leather pauldrons. I'm going to take them because I am relatively broke. A potion of stamina. Okay, that's kind of handy. So we're going to take these, but we're also going to find that we can't equip it. Because no self-respecting knight is going to wear these peasant rags. Or something. So we're going to get ourselves off into the dungeon. And now we're also going to test a theory. You saw me metaing this thing like crazy because this first part of the game actually is what I have played before. And I happen to know that, number one, that silver mace is a pretty good idea. There we go. Clubbed him to death. No treasure. But I also know one other thing. So we're going to test a theory. My theory is incorrect. See, this is an imp right here. Imps are, by their very nature, kind of pricks. And they will use magic against me. And this fight definitely could have killed me. But I was actually going with that, hey, we're kind of friends with imps, because I thought this little asshole wouldn't go after me, but theory incorrect. All right, anyway, that fight's out of the way, but what I can also tell you is if we had an iron or a steel weapon, the reason that fight would be so deadly is because we wouldn't be able to hit him. So we double meta'd that, and we got ourselves a weapon that could actually do some damage to it. A magicka rune is visible just under the dust. Is it? That's just flavor? Does that mean there's a trap? Doesn't look like it. Another warhammer. We're strong. We can carry. All right. Let's see. So we got a bunch of clothes there. Did we just? Let's see. Oh yeah, clothing and miscellaneous. Oh, look at this. I'm laden with torches. Oh my god, look at that. Fuck yeah. Stylish. Okay, and I have this amulet, but I don't think it does anything. Yeah, so that's... There goes that. I don't think that's an upgrade. Barefoot, you know, we're probably going to want to... No, we got to go loud. Got to go loud. We're probably going to want to deal with that before we start meeting other nobles. Oh, and we have our spellbook in here, although... Oop, maybe let's not throw that on the ground. Although I don't, as far as I know, I don't think we would actually have any spells because we didn't take any magic skills. And we have no ingredients. Okay. That's all good. We've got a couple pieces of kit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm potentially going to see if I can rest here. Nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is from an era when games just wanted to hurt you and make you feel bad. So I could walk around this corner and meet like a grizzly bear or something that would just, you know, completely disrespect me and humiliate me in front of everyone. Oh, or a fucking rat. He just closed the door in my face. Can you believe this little shithead? That's what you get. Alright, I know there's going to be secrets and crap around. I don't know if I'm going to go around wall humping. I don't remember exactly the layout of this initial dungeon, just some of the high points. Now, I could technically put a torch in my offhand, I believe. So let me take a look at that. Miscellaneous. You light the torch. Okay. Oh, so it just burns. It actually doesn't like take my offhand slot, it looks like. I guess I just, you know, like whatever, like stick it on top of my backpack or something. Oh. Are we... Are we cool? No, we're not cool. We're not cool. All right. Oh, dude. I saw that and I thought it was a hat, and I'm like, I've got to wear that hat. But it's just a sash. Whatever. I'll take it still. Hey, chainmail. We might actually Challenger straps. I both want to know what that is and don't want to know what that is all at the same time. All right, let's go back over here to weapons and armor, because we did just pick up some chainmail, and I'm hoping my guy isn't too much of a prick. Oh, it's a cuirass, though. We don't need that because we've already got this iron one, which is inherently going to be better. This gives us +6. This gives us +7. So we're already wearing better armor. That's not really going to help us. And in terms of the weapons, steel short sword, we don't care about that because we've already kind of hacked the system by bringing this mace with us. So we're good. So basically that just gives us a little bit of money, but we do have loot piles to sort around in here too. Well, that's pretty stylish. Steel saber, it's all right. As you can see here, we're filling up our bags, right? So eventually, oh, that's what I want. It is leather though. It is leather. Can we actually... Oh, we sure can. Now, I did see a mod that allowed you to block in this, but I likely either don't... Sweet. I likely either don't have the controls bound, or I don't have that mod as part of this pack that allows you to actively shield block. So right now I think the shield simply gives me a block chance. Oh, I did kind of get a little beat up there too. I should probably rest. Go into this nice relaxing environment with the dead bodies and shit like that. Let's just sneak in here so that we can't be beaten on from two sides, and we're going to try to rest again. Till fully healed. Now you can get attacked by enemies, and I believe it is kind of like a random spawn sort of thing where like you could just be resting, and like I say, like a fucking bear can just pop out and get it. And if you wonder why I keep mentioning a bear, there was a bear earlier today when I was testing this out. It didn't go well, so you know, be careful. Honestly, I love the look of this and how smooth this plays. Like, it is so infinitely playable and accessible for a modern gamer to get into this and just fuss around with this really classic PC title here. Oh, okay. See, I'm not going to make the mistake this time of thinking that we might be pals. I'm going to kill everyone on sight. Okay, so you can hear there like the sound of him basically parrying me. So again, this is an old school game. It's kind of a little bit like Morrowind, where behind this 3D display, there's a bunch of rolls going on, you know? So like rolls to hit, rolls to dodge, rolls to parry, and all that type of stuff, which is why I'm just sort of flailing ineffectually half the time. Oh, sweet. Oh, they're leather. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear those. Yeah, look at that. I'm such... I hate me. All right, but we are going to try to pull these in here because we might actually be able to equip those. I mean, after all, they are just shoes. Like, how can one object to wearing shoes? Like, rather go barefoot than just wear these? Fabulous. Look how good I look. Does this actually go... Oh, hey, there we go. We've got basically the iron wife beater look going on right now. I vaguely like it. All right. So we are going to remove the rest of this as well. We got some more arrows. We're just going to stack them in. We are getting to the stage now where we just kind of don't need to keep picking this shit up. Like, we're already getting really close. If we see anything valuable, we're going to pick it up. But that guy didn't do a lot of arching for an archer, I wouldn't say. We can kind of cruise around here. We're going to take a look at the rest of the dungeon. We are kind of like 35 minutes into this little scenario, and I think I've proven my point. Like, you should go and do this for totally free and check it out. Okay, look at that. I watch a Let's Player called Ghost LPs all the time, and he does like streaming as well. And I'm so used to hearing that sound because it's... because it's something that you can play in his streams, that Skelly shriek. So remember that part where I was just saying like a minute ago how games back then, they just like to make you feel bad about yourself? There you go. Told you. All right, so we're going to load a save game here. We've got to re-kill, do we? We have to re-kill that one guy. Maybe it'll go better this time, right? Okay, honestly, Bat, the fuck? Remember where I was saying there's a bunch of rolls going on? This is like me at the D&D table. I roll ones at a statistically improbable rate, and you're seeing that. So yeah, so again, old school game, we're just gonna, oh, my critical hit skill has improved. Sweet. That's handy, I guess. All right, so let's just keep saving like crazy. There might actually be a quick save that I just don't know about. It might be something like Q, right? Let me see. No response. Okay, maybe it's not Q. See, back in the wild days of yore, you youngins, you might not know, but I'm old and grizzled. And back in the olden days, they would just assign random buttons to do shit. It was exciting times. You never knew what you were going to get when you started like hammering around face rolling the keyboard. Okay, I have a bad feeling about this fight. I'm not sure that it's going incredibly well for me. Oh, look at that. Never a doubt in my mind. It's amazing. All right, we're going to take this. We have established that the shoes actually fit, and these leather boots, which look like iron, I was disappointed because I couldn't use them. So let's equip the shoes. Awesome. And we're going to keep this shirt on. I love this ugly Christmas shirt that I've got going on. It's just great. Okay, I'm going to, at this point, do something stupid, which is rest without saving. Fantastic. And you can see that when we rest, we get our skill improvements, right? So they're not going to happen dynamically while we're cruising around. They're going to happen when we rest. But fortunately, because everything's going to, essentially cave my teeth in, we're going to rest a lot. So no trouble there, keeping up to date on that. So now here, let's try to... There's that skeleton that beat the shit on me last time. So I'm going to take a quick look at something. And I'm going to rebind this. There we go. I'm going to continue. Alright. I'm actually going to save. Because I don't know if those settings would carry across. Okay, so now technically... What? I have a sneaking hunch it's not necessarily working the way that I thought it would. Because I'm trying to switch hands, right? Do I not understand how this works? Swing weapon, switch hand. So... Alright, well, you know what? I'm just about to call this anyway, so instead of doing something smart like trying to arrow pull that bat, I'm just going to run in here. See, look at that aggro range. They hate me as soon as they see me. But we are going to, at least this time, try to back off a little bit, give ourselves some room to... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, why is this door closed? Oh, God. Wrong door. That's why it was closed. All right, flee, flee. Dodge, weave. Come on, come on. See, this little fucker here, I'm sure he has, like, probably, like, block and stuff like that. He's, ow, got a shield. Okay, that didn't hurt too bad. Oh. Ow. You see me fighting on top of the table there? Like a musketeer or some shit. Come on. Okay. The flailing continues. Confidence is deteriorating. It's so hard to gauge like what reach it looks like in this, you know, these 2D paper dolls and stuff like that. So it's a little bit harder to it's a little bit harder to sort of survive at all. But I was going to say it's harder to, you know, do the dance and stuff like you used to do in old games. But anyway, on that depressing note of me getting killed again, I am going to call this video. But basically, like I say, I just saw this today. It's really awesome that they're doing this fully modded version of the game. It looks like a great mod set. The game looks great. The game plays great. It's here and ready to kick your ass with the first skeleton in the game. Highly recommend if you're into checking this kind of game out, just go grab it. It's free on GOG. And I would love to see some mod packs like this sort of be packaged in things like this in the future, because modding is a little bit daunting for a lot of players, but it's incredibly rewarding if you get into it. And this is the way to get people into it. So without any further ado, I'm going to call it. Thanks for watching.